Namaste. I was thinking yesterday about how miraculous life is. It's a little process that I go through probably a little bit each day when I start to feel heavier in my body. By the way, you might hear a little bear in the background. My daughter is watching her little show. So anyway, to lift me out of the heaviness that I feel in life sometimes, I start to think about gratitude. I bring in the feeling of gratitude. I always bring that in my yoga classes when I teach, reminding students gratitude changes the whole structure of your being when you begin to focus on it. And then the miraculous nature of life and some of the experiences that I've had. So what came to mind yesterday that I wanted to share was when I went to Hawaii to a Ram Dass retreat. This was in 2019, I believe, maybe 2018 or 19, I don't remember. It could have been 17. No, it wasn't 17, 18 or 19. Ram Dass retreat. And there's a thing that he used to do at the end of every retreat was we would all swim together in the ocean, right? He swam with the participants in the ocean on the very last day. And that day we woke up and it was raining. And so we knew that if it was raining, if there was any weather, then it might not happen. So we woke up and looked out the window. I mean, this place was on Maui, just magical in and of itself. So beautiful. The calm nature of where we were, obviously on retreat. So lucky to be in that experience. So we woke up and it was raining, and it hadn't rained in the morning, I don't think at all the whole time. Like, oh, it's probably not going to happen. So I'm looking out the window, and it just so happened that from my room, I could see the beach where that usually occurred when people went to go swim with Ram Dass. If you don't know who Ram Dass is, then you should definitely look him up. He's no longer in his body, but he left us with an enormous legacy of teachings and sharings. And I mean, he has changed the teachings, the implementation of the teachings, the community around Ram Dass and Love, Serve, Remember, ramdass.org, all of it have, it's opened me up. That is a miracle. It's a whole other story of how I came to even find him back in 2012. So anyway, at this retreat, I'm looking out the window. It's raining. Nobody's on the beach. I'm like, it's not happening. I was bummed out, but it's okay because the whole retreat was just so beautiful and heart opening and inspiring and emotional and healing and all those things. And my dog is growling. I forgot. You might hear the dog as well. And then I saw people beginning to gather down there, and it was sort of like letting up. The rain was letting up. So I said to my roommates, my friends that I was with, I'm like, we should probably just go down there just in case. And hey, Ellie, it's okay. So we went down. We ended up running down there because we're like, if this is happening, it's probably going to happen fast. So we ran down there, and then we're just waiting around. It's kind of drizzling, and they're kind of making the decision. And I believe that this was a very important aspect of the retreats for Ram Dass, to swim in the ocean. And so they went ahead with it, and they ended up wheeling him down in his wheelchair was able to go into the water, and he has his people that help, his assistants that help him with everything. And he had this glove that, because he lost functioning from a stroke on one side of his body more than the other. So he was just well equipped to go in the ocean, and he was able to swim and do his thing. And so, yep. So he started to go in, and it was kind of like he goes in first and then everyone follows. But they did a ceremony. That's right. See, it's all coming back to me. There was a ceremony Two women that lived on Maui and practiced ritual and ceremony. So they did a ceremony. That's right. They did a ceremony, and it was raining. Yeah, and then the rain started to let up, and it was still cloudy. That's right. And then Ram Dass began to go in the water. Now it's all coming back. And it was so beautiful. So it's cloudy, right? The ceremony was a little sprinkly. They're doing the ceremony, blessing the whole thing, and magical. And then so he starts to make his way, rolling toward the ocean. And the closer and closer he got, it was like the clouds began to lift. No joke. The clouds began to lift. And the wheelchair, hit the water, and the waves were coming in, and the clouds were lifting, and the sun, you could tell it was getting brighter. And he kept going in and in, and when he was fully immersed, the sky had opened in such a way there was a beautiful double rainbow in the sky. So as he was going in, this rainbow was beginning to appear in the sky. And that was a very, very, that's just one of those moments that words don't capture. And then we were all allowed to go swimming with him. And I remember going in the water, and I don't know how many people were in there, maybe 50 people were in the water, and he's swimming around, and we begin this song, or not even but like a repetitive thing. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, right? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. It was something that he did a lot. Oh boy, oh boy. And he's swimming closer to me. And as you know, my business name is Joy. And Journey Home Yoga. And we're swimming, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. And it's coming my way, toward my direction. And I was just alone. I wasn't with my friends. I was just taking in the whole thing. I feel like everybody was doing that. Everybody was just in their moment. And he's, making his way over toward me. And then he comes in front of me, not within reach or anything like that, but, in front of me. Maybe 6 or 8, 10 feet away. And the incantation, is that what it's called? Changes to, oh joy, oh joy, oh joy, oh joy. And another moment where I'm just obviously crying at that point. The validation, just sometimes, and I hope that you've all experienced this, and feel free to let me know in the comments, but when you just know, right, that you are exactly where you're meant to be. And this was a super spectacular, special moment. And these moments happen, where you're meant to be. They can happen on the regular, but this one was very special to me. But oh joy, oh joy, oh joy, oh joy. And that was a moment. Yeah. The things that have led me to some of these experiences, I would have never have met. I didn't daydream about this stuff when I was younger, or, nothing like that. It's just following the heart's calling, right? Actually, I talked about it yesterday in yoga class. You close your eyes and you connect with yourself, right? And we do our yoga practice and our meditation, and we get into that place where we know, right? Our heart is so sure. Even our mind is sure. We have the mind-body connection. And we're when I open my eyes, when I step off of this mat, I'm going to thread this through my life. I have the courage. I am sure. It doesn't even matter. I will make it work. This feeling inside of me of how my life should go. And a lot of times we walk out of that room and then we're afraid again. And I don't want to be afraid. I want to be brave. And lately the teachings have been, obviously in our society, we work, we need money to live and all that kind of stuff. But to not be fixed on more and more and more and more of that, right? But more and more and more of life. So it's not necessarily about going to Hawaii in having these major experiences or anything like that, but it's about choosing that calling of your heart in conjunction with your mind, because of course the action that we take is smart. And it was just the trust, right? The trust that there's no eye on the prize either, right? Present moment awareness as we move through and we have enlightened body, speech, and mind. Enlightened body, speech, and mind. You can ask. Enlightened body, speech, and mind. So we're working toward embracing this whole experience in a way that is more enlightened in body, speech, and mind. We need to love our bodies and care for our bodies and treat them like a temple. These are our vehicles in this life. And our speech, right? Our thoughts, words, and actions are everything. It's everything. It's how we move through each day. Okay, honey. It's how we move through each day. It's how we communicate with the world. It's how we create our lives. It's everything. Body, speech, mind. Thoughts, words, and actions. Anyway, I just wanted to share that story with you. It doesn't have to be in Maui. Don't let that be a fantasy, or anything like that. It was just, I've had a lot of those just in my regular life, in my house. That one was pretty super. But it can happen just on the regular. And how? There's many paths, the path that I choose is the path of yoga, the 8 limbs of yoga, and Buddhism, the 8-fold path, and the recognition that, yes, there is suffering. Life is full of suffering and grief and hard things, right? That's all suffering. We recognize that. We look to what causes this. And yeah, we can heal from it, and here's the path. Here's the path. We go within our inner universe. And Juliet wants a cookie. Okay. Anyway, more to come on all that, but really I just wanted to share that story because it just came up. I haven't thought about it. And it was so special. So special. And it's a good reminder that exists all the time. We're exactly where we're meant to be in every moment. And then we bring in the awareness of thoughts, words, and actions, of body, speech, mind, enlightened. We connect with our inner guru. If we have an outer guru, we connect with them. Everything, it's all one. It's all one. Namaste.